So remember how I said every cube needs the GTS3 spring system? The Yj Mgc Elite now has it too. Oh, and we'll throw in the EDM's magnet system as well. Now you might be thinking, hey, that's copying. That's not allowed. Anyway, this spring compression system is actually a little bit better because it's easier to adjust with your hands. So as you can see, I can just turn it like this, and you turn it clockwise to increase the strength of the springs. If you have it on the lowest setting like I have here, which is completely upright or completely sideways, then it makes your cube a lot faster, but also since the springs are weaker, it'll make your cube less stable. So as you turn it clockwise to increase the strength of the springs, the cube gets a little bit slower but more stable. So it's a trade-off between speed and stability, and this is how you can customize your cube. Next is the magnet system. So if you just turn 45 degrees, you can see the edges have a little circle with an arrow. If the arrow points out, that means you have stronger magnets, and if the arrow points inwards, that means you have weaker magnets. So it'll come with a tool for you to adjust these, but since I got an earlier version, I'm just going to use a screwdriver. So here I'll just turn it, and now it's pointing inwards. When you adjust one of these, you actually adjust the other one on the same edge. So because there are only 12 edges, this means you only have to make 12 adjustments to change all the magnets to a different strength. So the reason I'm focusing on this a lot is because a lot of modern speed cubes have this, and I didn't realize this until I got the Thunderclap V3 and realized it didn't have anything. It was just the cube, and either I like it or I don't. And there was nothing I could really do about it. Now the Yj Mgc is unique because it is actually the cheapest one that has all these features. The next cheapest is the EDM, and the next one is the GAN X. And then of course the Wayland WR and GTS3 can change springs but not magnets. One thing I like about this cube is I feel like its customization options actually work well. For example, with the GTS3, I said that the highest spring compression was perfect and everything else was just not good. For the Mgc Elite, it came really fast, and I know a lot of people already like that, so that's perfect. But when I changed the spring setting to be higher, it actually got a lot more controllable. It still is fast, that's just a characteristic of the cube, but I feel like it's not uncontrollably fast for someone like me who doesn't like cubes to be too fast. That's because the way that I do algorithms, a lot of the time I rely a lot on corner cutting and not on my own accurate turning. I mean, I could work on that, but I feel like cubes are forgiving enough that I don't really need to. Right now I'm using spring setting 4, which is around the middle, because I don't want to slow it down too much. And I'm also using the stronger magnets, although strong or weak magnets I seem to be okay with. Now let's look at corner cutting. We'll go 45 degrees to start. So I feel like corner cutting on this cube takes a little bit more effort than I've seen on some other cubes. If I go a little past 45, so line to line right here, still corner cuts, so that's good. And usually just past it, oh wow, reverse corner cut. Now, as I said earlier, I rely on corner cutting a lot, which is not true for everybody. So if you really like a cube like the Valk, then you're probably not the same as me. But with the Mgc Elite, I feel like no matter how little you corner cut, it ends up taking a lot of effort, and you can hear that big snap. And I like to compare it to the opposite extreme, which is the MF3RS2. And if you try and corner cut more, it gets louder. So the amount of effort it takes is kind of proportional to how much you're trying to corner cut. So if I corner cut very little, it's very quiet and doesn't take a lot of effort. And so this means when I do big corner cuts by accident and I get a sudden burst of motion from the cube, then I feel like that tends to mess me up sometimes. So that's not a big deal if you're a more accurate turner than I am, but that is the only little problem I've run into with this cube. So I actually really like this cube. It's not going to be my main because I know there are some problems with it that I probably won't be able to get around because I've tried cubes similar to it before. But at $23, it is the cheapest one you can get with all these customization options. So even if you don't like it at first, you may end up being able to find a setting that you like. And I could be wrong, but I'm willing to bet that top cubers wouldn't really be picking up this cube. But then again, there's not really cubes that top cubers are using that are really at this price range, except for the Valk M, which is $25. I think the Valk and the Mgc Elite are actually really similar. They both have sort of a blocky feel and take more effort to corner cut. I'd say they have a similar amount of stability, but what the Valk has going for it is at the more necessary, smaller corner cuts, it actually does a lot better, as in it takes less effort, so it's less intrusive on your solves. But then again, there's not many ways to customize it, so it is a little bit more of a gamble when you buy it, whether or not it really suits you. So yeah, overall, really impressed with this Yj cube, especially with how they were able to improve over some of the other aspects that other cubes have introduced. If you want to buy any cubes, remember to check out speedcubeshop.com and make sure to use the discount code JPerm. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.